Hello, you've caught me thinking about Halloween. And about how much I hate Halloween.
I hate how Halloween now seems to last an entire flipping month. Hordes of people on social media sliding into October like, no you're not. You're not sliding anywhere. What do you want about?
Me on September the 30th versus me on October the 1st. Shut up! Here's me on September the 30th versus me on October the 1st. Exactly the same.
I hate how it's so commercialised now and everyone always pretends it's a really big thing they've been celebrating for years.
Halloween's my favourite holiday. I think I actually like it more than Christmas.
It's not a holiday!
But mostly, I hate Halloween because it means I've got to make a list about scary games, which means I've got to play some scary games, and I don't like playing scary games because they're scary.
So I'm going to sit here with these mince pies I bought from Aldi, that's right, Team Christmas, and get through this as quickly as possible, just like I do on October the 31st when I hide upstairs and pretend I'm not in for an entire evening. Here are 7 games so terrifying, only the bravest of gamers can play them.
Forbidden Siren 2 is our first entry, a game set on Yamijima Island where 29 years prior to the events of the game, all the inhabitants mysteriously vanished. What better place to find yourself stranded then? Like all good survival horror, Forbidden Siren is all about, yes, survival, with an emphasis on stealth and avoiding enemies rather than blasting them to bits with shotguns.
And those enemies are the reason Forbidden Siren 2 makes this list. You have the Shibito and the Yamibito.
The former translating as corpse people and the latter darkness people. And no, Forbidden Siren 2 is not talking about fans of that god-awful rock band from the noughties. It's talking about these things, horrible, pale-faced, undead monstrosities that want nothing more than to scare you witless before they kill you.
The cool twist is that you're able to sight jack these enemies, meaning you can see through their eyes.
Essentially giving Forbidden Siren 2 a raw, handheld horror feel, which is incredibly effective at grounding you in its terrifying world. And yeah, when you sightjack an enemy you can't see, but then you discover they can see you, it makes my skin crawl just thinking about it. Next up, it's Resident Evil 7, a game that sees the king of survival horror return to its terrifying roots, while at the same time wowing us with a freshness of design you wouldn't expect from a series in its 7th mainline installment. Gone is the over-the-shoulder, action-heavy gameplay pioneered and perfected in Resi 4 and adopted by the series ever since, replaced by a slow-moving, first-person experience that has you hiding from a family of seemingly impossible-to-kill lunatics.
The atmosphere in this game is like nothing I've ever experienced. You can almost smell the rot as you shuffle down the corridors of the Baker house.
There's a dull realness to the game's visual palette that amplifies the grotesque and sharpens the jolts of terror. There's always the sense that something is lurking just beyond your vision. Every sound is muffled, deadened by thick, still air. A lack of music has you straining to hear. Was that my footstep? Or is there something else in here with me? And then something like this will happen and you'll just want out, like, immediately.
And that's right at the beginning, for goodness sake. And then there's VR.
You know, if you fancy seeing this kind of thing unfold right in front of your face. I'm alright, thanks. At number 3, we've got Amnesia: The Dark Descent, which you can tell is going to be utterly terrifying right from the off when it jovially greets you with a "Welcome to Amnesia: The Dark Descent."
Welcome, it says, like a murderer saying, "After you," as he opens the door to his underground death chamber.
Please adjust the gamma so the square on the right is barely visible. No thanks, I'll just make it as visible as possible, thank you very much, and please play in a dark room with headphones for the best experience.
You're not my mum. Amnesia: The Dark Descent. I'll play it with the brightness up to the max, in a brightly lit studio, and with my ears out. Thank you very much.
Even if you do that, it won't save you as you're hunted through a creepy castle while the game plays about with your movement and your perception, making you question everything like, is any of this actually happening? Why have I come to this obviously awful castle completely unarmed? And why don't I just turn this off now and put Pez on? We've got Outlast next, a cruel, cruel game that shoves you into a mental asylum full of murderous inmates and arms you with a camera and... no, just a camera. This is particularly annoying, seeing as how, if I have to play horror games, I like to be able to hide and move really slowly. Whereas in Outlast, if you stay put, then you stay dead, basically. You're forced to look through the camera. It's night vision mode, the only thing standing between you and total blindness, and make out the glowing green shapes of whatever deranged abomination is currently hunting you down. Outlast makes you take the initiative. You have to constantly move forward, strategically peeking through your viewfinder so you know where your enemy is, but at the same time ensuring you don't completely drain the battery.
Plus, the game is just relentlessly horrible to you. There's one bit where a doctor cuts your fingers off and you have to just sit there and watch it happen.
Plus, he's got his bum out for some reason. I mean, come on mate, as if this isn't traumatizing enough. And I'm not even going to talk about the groom in the Whistleblower DLC, because what he does is truly the single most horrific thing I've ever seen in a video game. If it wasn't for the fact Nathan and I forced Dave to let's play this, I'd never have had the stomach to see the whole thing through. Outlast is not for the faint of heart. Fifth entry, and on the subject of games that force you to look at awful things through a camera, how about Project 03, or Fatal Frame 3 to give it its true name? This is full-on Japanese horror evoking the spirit of movies like The Ring or Dark Water, and puts you in a situation where you are utterly defenceless, creeping around a setting that's scary enough as it is, even without all of the ghosts.
Yep. Ghosts. I can deal with zombies and at a push murderous inmates of a mental asylum, but ghosts, no.
There's no warning with these things. You can't hear them, you can't see them. All of a sudden they're there, and there's no bang or musical spike either, so you get that weird delayed reaction where your brain quickly tries to process what you've seen, but it's too late because the thing's already there, and
The only way to combat the ghosts, take photos of them.
That's it. Pull that camera up, make those ghosts come nice and close, right in your face, and then snap, 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 take those pictures. I mean, this is too much, isn't it? It's literally too much. Well done, Project 03. You're really very good at what you do, which is being so scary I can't even watch a trailer for you without being bathroom struck for an entire week.
Bathroom struck is what I call it when you've watched something scary and you're too afraid to go to the toilet when you wake up in the middle of the night needing a wee.
At number 6, we've got Alien Isolation, a game where you have to pit your wits against the most effective killing machine in the universe. That's right, the most effective killing machine in the universe, the Supreme Hunter, the perfect being.
I'm gonna hide in this locker and cry.
Alien Isolation is a really mean game. It's such a gorgeous, faithful recreation of one of my favourite movies of all time. I want so much to scour every inch of its beautifully modelled environments and bathe in the sci-fi glory of it all. But they went and put the alien in, didn't they? Like presenting you with a paradise beach, only the water is filled with ravenous piranhas. I mean, kudos to the guys at Creative Assembly. I was one of the many hundreds of thousands of people crying out for a video game xenomorph worthy of the name, one that wouldn't disintegrate into a puff of green the moment you looked at it with a pulse rifle in your hand. And I got what I asked for. Terminator with 10 mouths, an intelligent predator that can get you even in your safe space, the air vents, the cupboards, and you simply cannot kill.
Thanks for listening to us, Creative Assembly. Thanks.
Our final entry is Silent Hill 2, the game you'll see on top of pretty much every list if you Google best horror games ever made. I remember the first experience I had with Silent Hill was when I played the demo of the original that was included with Metal Gear Solid on PS1. I didn't have a clue what it was, so just stuck it in my machine and gave it a whirl.
I was 11 years old at the time, and so absolutely terrified, but at the same time I couldn't stop my thumbs from pushing my character forwards.
Silent Hill 2 perfected everything introduced in the original. The thick layer of fog obscuring your vision, the hauntingly sour atmosphere, the eerie psychological weirdness of it all, the uneasy feeling that you were seeing things you weren't really allowed to be seeing. The game is scary, yes, but at the same time you feel a strange sense of guilt when you play Silent Hill, as if you're doing something wrong, which, if you know the story of Silent Hill 2, is probably a very deliberate thing.
Silent Hill 2 isn't full of jump scares, it's not a thrill ride, it doesn't want to make you scream.
It wants to slowly bury its way under your skin and stay there lurking for years. It wants you to think about it even when you're not playing it, to mull over its themes, to provoke and disturb you. And okay, when it brings out Pyramid Head, it kind of wants you to scream a bit. So there we go, 7 terrifying video games only the bravest gamers can stomach. Let us know your picks in the comments, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more of them every Friday. Happy Christmas.